The man twisted the ring on his finger, and the next second, he was pulled into another dimension. He froze for a moment, then saw a spiritual spring right in front of him. Curious, he leaned in to sniff it but didn't dare take a sip, so he twisted the ring again and returned to reality. He brought his wife's strawberry seeds into that space, planted them on a patch of land, and watered them with the spring water. To his shock, the strawberries sprouted instantly. That confirmed his suspicion, the spring could make any plant grow in a second. Just then, he heard someone coming and quickly jumped back to reality. It was his wife. She walked in and saw that her freshly planted strawberries were gone, so she asked what happened. Not wanting her to get suspicious, he lied and said the strawberries had died and he'd already pulled them out. That lie made her furious. She scolded him for being too much and turned to leave. He had no choice but to cook a bowl of noodles to make it up to her, but she didn't dare accept his kindness. When he reached out to touch her, she flinched and stepped back. That's because he used to be abusive. Every time he got drunk, he'd hit her, so now she was terrified of him, and she was being extra careful for the sake of the baby growing inside her. Seeing how scared she was broke his heart. He hated the man he used to be. It turned out he had been reborn. In his past life, he'd tortured his wife endlessly because of his gambling addiction, but she never left him. Even when a fire broke out and their lives were in danger, she'd rather die with him than leave him behind. Both of them perished in that fire. Maybe heaven wanted to give him a chance to repent, so it sent him back to the time right after they got married. Seeing how afraid she was now filled him with guilt. He silently swore to cherish her this time and give her and their baby the best life possible. He promised her right then that he'd quit gambling for good. Then he rushed back into the space, picked some of the newly grown strawberries, and brought them to her. She tried one and said it tasted even better than the ones sold at the market. The next day, he called up his best buddy and went to town to buy more strawberry seeds. When his friend heard he was planning to start a business, he didn't believe it. But when he saw the man actually spending money on seeds, he was stunned. After buying them, the man went back into the space, planted the seeds, and watered them with the spring water. Within seconds, the leaves started growing. But it would still take until the next day for the strawberries to ripen. So he decided to go buy groceries and cook dinner for his wife, so she'd have a warm meal waiting when she got home. But as soon as he stepped out, the neighbors started gossiping, saying he must be going to buy alcohol again. They had no idea he'd really changed. Meanwhile, his wife was on her way home, already nervous, afraid he might be drunk and violent again. But when she walked through the door, she smelled the aroma of food. Seeing the dishes on the table, she was stunned. She couldn't believe he'd actually changed. While she stood there thinking, he walked out of the kitchen and told her to sit down and eat. He noticed something in her hair and reached out to remove it, but she instinctively dodged. He told her there was something stuck in her hair, and she said she hadn't noticed because she came home in a hurry. Then he placed the bowl of food in front of her and told her to eat it all, saying it was good for her health. It all felt unreal to her, but she quickly finished the meal anyway and went to the yard to peel corn. A moment later, he followed her outside and told her to go rest, saying he'd finish the corn tomorrow. She said she wasn't sleepy, but he knew the truth, she just didn't want to share a bed with him. So he told her to sleep in the bed and said he'd take the couch. Late that night, she couldn't bear seeing him sleep on the sofa, so she came out and told him to come to bed. He was thrilled, thinking she'd finally forgiven him, and hurried to lie down. But as he watched her, he couldn't help feeling guilty. She used to be a rich girl, and now she was living such a hard life because of him. He swore silently that from now on, he'd treat her even better. Meanwhile, his in-laws were furious with him and decided to take their daughter home. Just then, he got back from work and saw his father-in-law's car pulling up. Can he protect his wife this time?